Hey everyone, Nick here and welcome back to Gamerjoob, and welcome back to our Five Nights at Freddy's character concept series. So in today's video, the character we're looking into is the Clown, or also known as the Mimic Clown. So we'll go into this character's backstory, gameplay mechanics, location, and all that good stuff as well. But before doing that, do be sure to leave a like and subscribe to Gamerjoob as it helps out a lot and it's greatly appreciated. Now, considering that this video includes the Mimic themselves, we just want to put out a small disclaimer. What we say in this video is not definitive of the Mimic's lore and background and what's going to happen in the new game, Secret of the Mimic. We're aware that some details and some facts might not really match up with the Mimic and their backstory, but this is just a fun story we get to tell for entertainment purposes, so just keep that in mind and we hope you enjoy. But alrighty, with that all out of the way, let's get into the character concept for the Mimic Clown. So previously in our Five Nights at Freddy's character concept series, we've been looking into the strange events that have taken place at the Fallfest Circus. Throughout this story, each of the animatronic characters have been terribly damaged and disfigured. The Night Guard has been trying to solve the mystery of what's been happening and who's behind all of this. So far they've been trying to survive as all the other characters are now out to get them. But the mystery behind these attacks and the Fallfest Circus will be revealed before they know it. Because there was still one other character that they haven't met yet. It's someone who's been lurking in the shadows right behind the Night Guard's back. And now it's about time they made their presence known. So the next character that we're introducing is known as the Clown. The Clown goes by quite a few different names. He's been nicknamed the Mimic Clown, the Copy Clown, the Copycat Clown, and the Shadow Clown. All these names are due to the fact that the Mimic Clown has the ability to copy movements of other people. The Clown was by far the most advanced animatronic at the Fallfest Circus. His endoskeleton was made up of multiple motors and servos that could move his joints and limbs in many different ways. But the most impressive feature by far was the Clown's mimic ability. The way in which the ability worked was all in his eyes. The Clown was fitted with special eye sensors that can scan an individual. Once this scan was completed, the Clown could now mimic the movements of the individual. At the time, this was considered quite impressive, and all the workers and circus staff definitely thought so as well. The Mimic Clown was bound to be Fallfest's most exciting attraction to date. It was predicted that people from all over the country would travel to the circus just to see him. And they'd better, because this thing wasn't cheap. The owner of the circus didn't say who they bought it off, but almost half the year's funds went into this attraction alone. And with this new advanced Mimic Clown at their circus, they were sure to make a fortune. But sadly, that never really happened. In fact, a lot of the guests and visitors never really saw the Clown. This was due to all the technical troubles that plagued his inner workings. As hard as the workers tried, the Clown's mimic ability never truly worked, and even in some specific instances, it proved to be quite dangerous. So with these mechanical mishaps, the circus had no choice but to store the Clown away until they could iron out all these problems. But it turns out this was all an act. There wasn't really anything wrong with the Clown's mimic ability. He simply didn't want to be put on show at the circus. He'd rather stay hidden away and blend in with the background. The Clown never wanted to be the main attraction. He had other plans in mind for this circus and its happy animatronics. But now we return back to the Night Guard. It's 6 AM and they've just finished their shift. It was strange, but it seems like when the clock hit 6 AM, all the animatronics shut down and no longer chased them. But as they were finishing up their shift for the night, they heard something quite interesting. It was the sound of a music box. They've only heard this melody once before. It was on the first night when Circus Freddy was attacked. The sound seemed to be echoing from down the hall. The guard followed this strange melody all the way down and behind the curtains. And that's when they saw it. It was in fact a large music box. They've never seen this thing before. As they got a little closer to inspect it, they were greeted with quite the scare. The Clown erupted from the music box. He almost caused the Night Guard to have a heart attack. So this must be the rumoured special animatronic that the circus had hidden away. This thing gave the Night Guard the creeps. It's almost like it was staring directly into their soul. They wondered why this animatronic was never shown off with all the others. Apparently it had a number of problems and was deemed too faulty. As they were inspecting this creepy clown, they noticed something quite odd. Inside the box was a security guard uniform. How did this get in there? As far as they were concerned, they were the only night guard that was currently working at the circus. If that was true, then how did this get in here? Regardless, they took the uniform back to the repair room and ended their shift. The next night, they returned early before their shift had started. There was just something that the night guard couldn't forget. What was that uniform doing with the clown? That clown didn't sit right with them. They found it extremely odd and wanted to figure out what was going on. Something felt very wrong about this clown. They were going to check out the memory banks from all the animatronics to see what they could find. They usually wouldn't do this on account of all the characters trying to attack them, but it's before midnight, so they should be in their dormant state. So with all the animatronics, you can access their memory banks and see what they've been observing. The slide images can be projected from their eyes and show the recorded memory. So they manually dialed back Circus Freddy's memory back to the night of the incident. And sure enough, their suspicions were correct. It was the Mimic Clown. He was the one behind all these mysterious attacks. He was dressed as a night guard, so it would confuse all the mascots. So that's why they were all after the night guard. They must have all thought it was them who lashed out and attacked them one by one. This devious clown framed the night guard in order to carry out their plan. But why? Why would they want to do this in the first place? Who knows what was wrong with this thing? For all they know, they could... All of a sudden, the clown ripped right through the projector screen and tried to attack the night guard. Now that they've solved the mystery behind all these attacks, they can't have them escaping this circus alive. The player quickly makes a run for it to the main tent, and the Mimic Clown quickly follows after them. The player now finds themselves in the main stage area of the main tent. The Mimic Clown has followed them inside and is now desperate to destroy them. They swipe at the night guard, but they dodge at the last second. The Mimic Clown instead breaks one of the main support poles of the tent. Suddenly, this gives the player an idea. If they can get the Mimic Clown to strike the rest of the support poles, then maybe they can trap him inside. It wasn't a perfect plan, but it was worth a shot. So in the clown's blind rage, he kept chasing after the guard and swiping at them with his strong metal claws. Each time he was accidentally breaking the main support poles. And one by one, the structure of the tent was getting weaker. Suddenly, with one final attack, the last support pole was broken. The tent starts to collapse and fall from above. The player quickly leaps out of the tent as it collapses. And ironically, the Fallfest tent falls down on the Mimic Clown. The sheer mass of all the metal, wood and fabric buries him inside. The sparks from his malfunctioning body set the collapsed tent on fire. Now trapped in a fiery tomb of his own making, the Mimic Clown is left to burn up with the fallen tent. Finally, it was all over. The night guard survived the last night and put an end to this terrible clown. Now that it's been destroyed, it won't harm any more of the mascot characters ever again. As they stare at the burning tent, the night guard has come to realise they've totally lost their job. But as long as that creepy Mimic Clown has been destroyed, that's all that truly mattered. Alrighty everyone, well that was the ending for chapter 1 of the Circus arc. We hope you all enjoyed the stories we had to tell, and we can't wait to share all the new Circus stories we have for chapter 2, so be sure to stay tuned for the next video. But as always, do be sure to let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the Mimic Clown and also part 1 of the Circus arc overall. But alrighty everyone, until we start part 2, we'll see you in the next one, bye.